Hello there, everybody. Dev here with the Rogue Deck Chronicle podcast. And this week, I am excited to show off a interesting single prize deck that I've been seeing get results on the online tournaments, which is the baby Bloodmoon Ursaluna with the Solrock Lunatone engine, Munkidori, and then of course it does run one of the Bloodmoon Ursaluna EXs. So let's dive into what the deck does, how it kind of works, and then let's go jump onto the ladder to see how it does against our matchups and different things like that. So first off, Bloodmoon Ursaluna is a basic 150 HP fighting type Pokemon with the Battle Harden ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto the bench, you may attach up to 2 basic fighting energy from your hand to this Pokemon, and then it has the attack for a Mad Bite, which is 2 fighting colors. It's 100, but it does 30 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon. So the question is, how are we going to get damage counters onto our opponent's active Pokemon? Well, that's where everyone's favorite card, Munkidori, comes into play. The ability Adrenaline, as long as it has a darkness energy attached to it, we're allowed to move 3 damage counters from one of our Pokemon to our opponent's Pokemon. So we would more than likely be loading it onto a target that we want to hit with the Mad Bite attack. So as you see here, I didn't really list the Frostlass engine. So how are we going to get damage counters on our Pokemon that we can control that outside of damage we normally get? Well, that's where our stadium comes into play with the Calamitous Snowy Mountain Stadium. So with the stadium, whenever any player attaches an energy from their hand to their basic non-water Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So if we have the Snowy Mountain Stadium in play and we do the Battle Harden ability on Bloodmoon Ursaluna, we're actually putting on 4 damage counters onto Bloodmoon Ursaluna. And then we do a manual attachment, that will be 6 damage counters total. And if we have 2 Munkidori into play, we can shift those 6 damage counters onto the target that we want to attack with. So that Mad Bite does 100 plus 30 times 6, does 280 damage, which is pretty lofty for a single turn. So it's something that we will not have to worry about. I think you're going to see in the matches that we're able to do this fairly consistently, or at least the damage we need to do turn over turn. So let's talk about the support Pokemon. So we have the Solrock Lunatone engine with a Lunar Cycle ability. We just discard a fighting energy, draw 3 cards. We also will be running Fezandipiti. We are a single prize deck, so we will be utilizing Fezandipiti, flip the script, a couple times throughout the match in order to refill our hand and kind of restabilize from a KO turn. Now, in terms of supporters, we have a very interesting mix of supporters where we run 4 Arven. Makes sense. We're trying to get resources in our hand in order to get energy into our hands. That's where the Arven comes into play. We run 2 Crispin. So Crispin allows us to grab a darkness and a fighting energy, so we can trigger both the Ursaluna and the Munkidori in the same turn. And we run 2 Lily's Determination. Shuffle, draw 6 or 8 is just way too good. You have to have it here. And we have 1 Gusting supporter in Boss's Orders, but we also have a Gusting card in Iron Bundle. Iron Bundle does have that Hyper Blower ability where we can just say we want a different Pokemon in the active. And if we manage the board properly, when we Hyper Blower, we're having our opponent put a Pokemon that already has damage counters, or is just easy to get knocked out by our attacks. Now, in terms of just general item kind of management, we have 1 Earthen Vessel, allows us to get 2 energy into our hand. We have 4 Fighting Gongs, allows us to get fighting energy or any of our fighting Pokemon into our hand. We run 2 Energy Retrieval. As a single prize deck, the Bloodmoon Ursaluna is more vulnerable being knocked out, so we can get 2 of those energy back in our hand. We'll be able to cycle through another. We have Energy Switch to allow us to bump the darkness energy around if we need to, or the fighting energy if we need to. And then we have 4 Night Stretchers for recovery. In terms of the energy, we run 8 fighting, 4 darkness to allow us to trigger both the Bloodmoon Ursaluna and the Munkidori. As always, this list will be in the description of the video. I saw this list popping up on online results. I'm always looking to see what's kind of happening on online versus in-person tournaments, and this got my attention. I was really excited once I started testing with it. to see how it works, and I want to showcase that for you guys as well. So with that being said, guys, let's jump onto the ladder to see how we do. Alrighty, so we are going second. We are leading with Solrock and Lunatone in our hand, and we have our Secret Box in our hand as well. So we can probably have a pretty fire turn. Water Fighting Energy, I'm curious what our opponent has. So we can Lunar Cycle, we can also Cosmic Beam. Solrock is a really fun lead because it can put 70 pretty easily onto our opponent turn 1. And it's going to be Mega Kangaskhan EX. Okay. So if we can get a switch, we could do pretty serious damage this turn. Just to put that pressure onto our opponent. Because then we could drop the... Okay. Okay, so I want... I'm going to discard these 3. So let's talk about what we want. So we want to get an Ursaluna in hand. We want to get and then what supporter do we want for this turn? I think that's how we want to go about it. So let's Fighting Gong for a Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Let's Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Get the energy onto it. Let's retreat that Solrock there. Let's Crispin to get 2 energies. I want to put the Darkness no. I want to put the Fighting Energy in the hand. I want to put the Darkness Energy onto the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. I want to Lunar Cycle. Let's Nest Ball for a Munkidori. Let's put the Stadium in play. Let's retrieval that energy back into our hand. Those energies back into our hand. I want to Munkidori. We want to put that onto the Mega Kangaskhan. We're going to put the Fezandipiti into play. And then we're going to retreat into the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. And we are going to hit for 320 for the KO. Wonderful turn 1 there. Sequenced. We kind of got everything we needed. I don't know if our opponent knows what to do now. We got another Bloodmoon in the hand. Let's see how our opponent responds to that turn. Yeah, he conceded. Now, we did utilize weakness to our advantage there, but that was a brilliant turn to kind of showcase what we can do that deck. So let's jump into another match and see how else we can do against the ladder. Alrighty, time for us to jump into another game. We are going second, so we're going to lead with the Munkidori and keep the Bloodmoon Ursaluna in hand. Because we do have the 2 energies and a Lillie, so we can really go off this turn. We have a very good and real possibility of having a very strong turn. And Kangaskhan does not like Baby Ursaluna. Let's just call it what it is there. So, they just attach pass. Let's see what we can get away with this turn. We got Calamitous Mountain. With that, let's just get the Bloodmoon down now. Let's get the 40 damage onto the Bloodmoon. And then let's Lillie for a fresh sand and an 8. We got Solrock. Let's Nest Ball for a Lunatone. Let's get another 3 with Lunar Cycle here. Okay. So we're an energy shy, unfortunately. So what we're going to do... I want to put the Terrakion down this turn. Attach to the Terrakion. Take the damage. And we're just going to end the turn. See what our opponent does. So we have a Ursaluna that's just one turn away from really popping off. Area 0, so we're going to see probably... I see Grass Energy, so probably Teal Mass coming in soon. So, what we can do this... just like a half a turn behind. And I say a half a turn, really, it's just... We need to get another energy into the Ursula, and we need to get a switching card for the Munkidori. Ideally, we get this Kangaskhan just KOs the Munkidori for us, so we can just use the Night Stretcher. And then we can just use Retaliate for a whole bunch of damage. And just let the Terrakion just soften up this Kangaskhan. But our opponent's going really very aggressive with the Teal Mass, which is fine. We have the grass weakness, but the grass weakness really doesn't mathematically matter with the Teal Mass, so you're going to KO us without weaknessing. Our opponent having a really good turn 2. They were just hoping we weren't able to pop off turn 1, which we weren't able to. We got really close though, let's just be honest. So, they're going to do the 200 before flips. That's going to guarantee the KO. Yep. 250, no big deal. So, we are going to promote the Terrakion, because Ursaluna can't do the damage without a little bit of help. So we are going to try to just get the pieces we need. So we're going to Night Stretcher that Fighting Energy back to draw. I don't want to Hyper Blur yet because I really want to just... This Kangaskhan is not a hard piece. Okay, so we kind of got a little unlucky here, but it's fine. Let's do the 260. That puts Kangaskhan in range of some Munkidori shenanigans potentially next turn. So we'll see what our opponent does. Because I do not mind moving damage over to the Kangaskhan to take 3 prizes. And then we just worry about the Ogre-Pons on the bench. Because it looks like that's what our opponent with the Latias trying to get this Kangaskhan away from us. So, alright, so we got Iono down to 6. Double Night Stretcher, Secret Box, Energy Retrieval. Good cards here. Because with the Night Stretcher, we can get the energy to cycle. Nest Ball can get us a Fezandipiti if the Terrakion does get KO'd. So they're just going to draw. The Secret Box will get us pretty much everything we would want at the sacrifice of some pieces here and there. Nothing crazy. So let's see what we kind of are given. So Chansey, so there's a Blissey. Okay, so there's just going to switch, which is fine. And they're going to pass. Okay. So this Terrakion is needing to get out of the active. For sure. So I'm going to first do the first Night Stretcher here. I want to get this basic energy. I want to get a bigger hand for the Secret Box discard. Okay, so let's get rid of their stadium first and foremost. Let's Secret Box away. Experience share. Nest Ball and Pokégear. Which will get us let's grab a Calamitous for later. Let's grab a Crispin, a Retrieval, and a Vengeful Punch. Let's Crispin this turn. Grab one of each. We want to put the Darkness in hand. Let's put that energy and Terrakion. Let's energy attachment onto the Munkidori. Let's move damage off of our Bloodmoon onto their active. Let's Counter Gain onto our Bloodmoon. Let's retreat and just put those energies in the discard pile for now. We are going to retrieve 2 of the fighting energies. We are going to get another Bloodmoon ready to go. And then with that, we're going to hit for 190, get the KO on the Teal Mask, get the 2 prizes, and now we're on a spot where we have an Energy Switch, we have a Night Stretcher, we have this Kangaskhan's going to get promoted, which is fine. So we have recovery cards. We are in a position where we can put more pressure next turn. So this Bloodmoon is going to be pretty much turned off. So Ignition, so Return's going to knock out this Bloodmoon anyway. So there is a possibility what we can do is... Oh, I don't want to initially get rid of the stadium, because if we do that, they can get rid of that damaged Kangaskhan. So we will need to do a combination play, which I think we can do. For 3 prizes, or for at least 3 prizes, if not more. But I want to make sure we do this right. Yeah, so he's going to get 1 card, knocking out this Ursaluna. We're just gonna... I think what we need to do is focus on trying to get the Blissey this turn. So first things first, let's move the energy, or move the damage from here to here. So that means 270. We're doing 380, so we have that. So now we need energy to do that. So it's Vengeful Punch to punish. Let's Fighting Gong for the energy. Let's Night Stretcher that Bloodmoon back into our hand. And while we're at it, let's grab 2 more of those energies. So we are going to not add any more damage to our board, but we're going to add another attacker to the board. And we don't need a draw. I'm going to kind of keep that kind of slow. And we're going to get the 2 prizes off this Blissey. Get our 2 prize cards, which is Arven and Boss, which is awesome. So we have a couple outs next turn. Because how many of our Munkidori have we gone through? Just the 2. Only 2 Darkness Energy. So we have some potential turns and some potential moves to really start putting pressure. Whatever knocks out this Bloodmoon Ursaluna is going to have to deal with the Vengeful Punch item, which is great. And then if we can get a Darkness Energy Munkidori, we can push 20 damage onto that Mega Kangaskhan and just go for the game. So I'm curious what our opponent's going to do. We kind of put ourselves in a position where we can't lose this turn, but we can definitely win next turn. We have a couple different outs, not just attacking with either one of the Bloodmoon Ursalunas. We do have some Munkidori plays that we can do, and purposely leaving the stadium, the Area 0 underdefs in play, because I didn't want to see that Kangaskhan go away. That Kangaskhan is way too close to being damaged and KOing from damage to really just go away. So unless they can put another Pokemon in play and bump their own stadium this turn, which I don't see them bumping Area 0 underdefs. It's too much of a part of their strategy. And then the Torrential Pump's 100 and does 120 to bench, so we could see this Munkidori go away. But if that's the case, we have other routes. So we'll have to kind of see what our opponent does here. I really do see this being the play for the turn. But if we can somehow get... Okay. Or not. Or not. So we are in a position where we can only really move 20 damage off a Pokemon. So that being the case, what I want to do is get the 20 damage there. That gets the Munkidori away from Torrential Pump issues. But we had the boss in hand. I don't know why I was overthinking it. That's on me for overthinking it. I'm sorry, guys. Roast me in the comments section, but 1,800 damage is a fun little way to end the game. So we had what we needed in hand the entire time. Didn't think our opponent was going to just do nothing. So a fun little game, fun little match there for Ursaluna, showing off how we just move our damage around and take advantage of the fact of the prize trade. So let's jump into another match to see how we do. Okay guys, so time to jump into another match. We are going first this time. So we're just going to drop the Lunatone the active, click done, and kind of draw our card, see what we will do. And it's another Mega Kangaskhan deck. We're seeing a very, very large influx of Kangaskhan into the format. So, not necessarily upset with that. We are going to put pressure on our opponent by just setting up, as we should. So, I'm just gonna do that. It just makes more sense. And then we're gonna end turn. We have an Arven in hand for next turn with the Air Balloon already, so we could always just Arven for Nest Ball, and hopefully we can get some energies. We can try to get more cards. So really, I wouldn't be upset if we see an Iono. I don't think our opponent's gonna Iono us though. But we do need to push some of that damage onto this Mega Kangaskhan in front of us. Precious Trolley, we're gonna see a whole bench. This is not gonna be a quick little turn. And this is the Mega Absol Mega Kangaskhan kind of control archetype. So let's do our best to really get ahead of the game. This deck doesn't need a lot of resources to go, but we do need some. So we just need to see what we are going to see and kind of do what we need to do. So energize, there's going to be an attachment. So we'll see where this energize goes, probably onto the Mega Absol. And them putting damage on themselves isn't a horrible thing for us. But this is not enough right now. But if they do the energy for us, and kind of put that pressure on for us, so we don't have to work as hard. Ah, that goes around it. Okay, not the end of the world though. Okay. So we have a Pokégear. Let's check it first. It gives us a Lillie's. And I think I'd rather the 8 cards than just what Arven can get us, because I don't think Arven can get us everything. What Arven can get us, though, or what Lillie can get us, is all these cards. So let's get the Solrock into play. That way we can get the Lunatone engine up and running. Let's just move some energy around here. Kind of just want to sit right now. Kind of want to sit because I don't want to Fighting Gong, and I don't have the energy to do much with it. But we can do that and kind of see what our opponent makes us do next turn. So we have the draw engine, we have the Munkidori. We can Fighting Gong for the other Bloodmoon. In some pieces, we can Energy Retrieval. So we have the pieces in hand to hopefully just put immense pressure on our opponent next turn. We have the Crispin as well. So let's see what we can get without the Darkness. Okay, so without the weakness here, it's going to be a little harder, but not immensely harder, especially if we get an Ursaluna up and running. Okay, so the Crispin's gone. Crispin really wasn't as essential of the play. It was part of the play, but not as essential. So let's see what we can get. Alright, so Munkidori.
Let's Fighting Gong to see what's in the deck, which is exactly what we want, which is 1 Bloodmoon. We're going to Energy Retrieval 2 of those back. We are going to put that into play. Let's get 40 damage onto this baby Bloodmoon. Let's Adrenaline 3 of those damage back on there. Let's Energy Switch that card to there. Let's attach. Let's Fighting Gong for another energy here. Attach it, putting more damage counters onto the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Misclicked and kind of messed that up. Let's retreat for free, promote this up, and do the 340 for the game. So this deck can handle the big boys. It was a really fun little match there, taking back-to-back Mega KOs, and our opponent really didn't know what to do. And they even saw our hand, and they took away from that Crispin, and we still were able to kind of still do what we did in 3 or 4 turns. Very aggressive deck, very fun single prize deck that can handle some of the most popular decks in the format. So as you can see, guys, this baby Bloodmoon Ursaluna I think is very well positioned in the current metagame. It being a fighting type Pokemon hits key Pokemon for weakness. It being single prize really exploits the introduction of Mega Pokemon into the format and the popularity of certain Mega based decks. So, and it's weird to say it's a Bloodmoon Ursaluna deck when it only runs 2 babies compared to some other cards where it really has the Munkidori engine as its backbone. But it really is another take on how to play Munkidori in the format, where you are attacking, you are kind of just using your stadium and damage counters to set up your attack, which is always very nice to see different ways to get those energy pieces. But as always, guys, this deck list will be in the description of this video, and hopefully you guys did enjoy the matches today. We showed how aggressive this deck can be, can handle the short, medium, and long games very, very well. And if you've made it this far, please give the video a like. Double check that you're subscribed to the channel. More than likely you guys aren't. The YouTube analytics do show us that more than half the people that watch our content are not subscribed to the channel. And that way you guys get to see more of the videos we pump out. We try to do a video every single Friday of a off-meta list of some form, or a deck that we think can compete with the big boys and kind of can have some fun with it. So with that all being said, guys, thank you very much for making this far into the video, and as always, have fun playing those sneaky decks.